After last night's loss to the Detroit Lions, ending the Packers season, putting their season record at 8-9, their first losing season since 2018, all eyes turned to Aaron Rodgers in his post-game press conference. So in today's video, I'm going to give my thoughts and reactions to a couple of the things Aaron Rodgers said last night. So I have a bunch of tweets ready to go over with you guys, a lot of quotes from last night. Obviously, every time the Packers season ends in heartbreak, there's a lot of emotion in the press conference room, primarily from Aaron Rodgers, and I think there's some things to take away from this. But at the end of the day, it's not the end-all, be-all, and what Aaron Rodgers said last night doesn't really give us a huge answer to whether or not he'll be back on the Packers in 2023 or not. I'm going to make a more in-depth video on the potential of Aaron Rodgers returning in 2023 later this week, so be on the lookout for that. So first, we have this tweet here from Rob Demoski, and it says, very similar reaction from Aaron Rodgers to last year when asked about his future. Quote, it's a little raw right now, want to take the emotion out of it and have conversations and see where the organization is at and see how I feel after some time's passed. And that echoes exactly what I just said. It's right off the press. The Packers were one game out of the playoffs after a miraculous run of 4 games straight, everything going their way. They just needed to beat the Detroit Lions, who were already eliminated from the playoffs due to the game at 425. All they needed to do was win one game, and after what we saw last night in Minnesota, or last week in Minnesota, it looked like that was definitely going to happen, and the demons of the Packers, offense and defense, came right back to bite them in this game, and they ended up losing, and their season was over. So this was hot right off the press. The Packers season is over. They end up 8-9. So I definitely agree with Rodgers here. You got to take some time away from it. You got to think in your own thoughts. You got to make your own decision. Making a decision right after something as heartbreaking as this is never the way to go. Next, we have this tweet here from Ryan Wood, and it's Aaron Rodgers on his future yet again. It says, quote, I feel good about what I've accomplished in this league and wouldn't have any regrets if I walked away, but I have to see how I feel once I get away from this. So although Aaron Rodgers is saying this right now, I have no regrets, I wouldn't feel that bad if I walked away. Personally, I just don't see Aaron Rodgers as the type to walk away, retire after a losing 8-9 season. Now, does that mean he'll return as a Packer or, try to be traded? My bet is on returning as a Packer over being traded, but a lot of people seem to believe that he is going to retire. I'm not one of them. I do think he'll be back, but I just don't see Aaron Rodgers walking away and not regretting it after an 8-9 season and his last pass as a Green Bay Packer, just like his predecessor Brett Favre, being an interception. Next, I had the tweet from my friend Zach Jacobson here, and it says, Aaron Rodgers said once again that he isn't going to hold the Packers organization hostage. He's going to let some time pass for the sake of removing the emotion from his decision-making process. A return has to be mutual desires on both sides, he says. And that's definitely true. We've seen in years past where Aaron Rodgers wasn't really into the conversation after the offseason, and that's kind of when the whole rumor started a couple of years ago that Aaron Rodgers would, be traded. But now they're more in tune with talking with Aaron Rodgers, keeping him in the conversation. And during last night's presser, Matt LaFleur said he 100% wants Aaron Rodgers back in 2023. 1 month ago, in general manager Brian Gutekunst's press conference, he said he wants Aaron Rodgers back in 2023. So I think mutually that is there. It's just whether or not Aaron Rodgers thinks he can still play at a high level, and wants to continue playing football into his 40s. That's going to be what it comes down to. I think there's definitely mutual interest there. I think Matt LaFleur, Gutekunst, all these guys want Aaron Rodgers back. It's just going to come down to what Aaron Rodgers ultimately decides. This next tweet by Ryan Wood, Aaron Rodgers makes clear the $59 million guaranteed to him next season would not prevent him from retiring this offseason, mentioning he's already been blessed to accumulate, quote, generational wealth in his career, and, quote, yes, I would definitely walk away from that. Aaron Rodgers has definitely made a lot of money as a Green Bay Packer, but $59 million is $59 million. Does Aaron Rodgers necessarily need it? Probably not. But when you're talking about, doing something that you love and you think you can still compete at and potentially make a run, on top of that, you're going to be earning upwards of $60 million in 1 year playing a sport that you love to play. I feel like that would be hard to walk away from. And I'm not Aaron Rodgers, and I'm not making that type of money by any means, but I feel like that would be really, really hard to walk away from. But then again, like I said, Aaron Rodgers has made plenty of money. He doesn't necessarily need it, so it definitely could happen. Nonetheless, the Packers are going to be paying for Aaron Rodgers against the salary cap this year. Whether or not he comes back, retires, or is traded, the Packers are paying for Aaron Rodgers. Another tweet here from Zach Jacobs said, decisions around veterans on the team such as Randall Cobb, Mercedes Lewis, and David Bakhtiari, among others, will play, quote, a big part in Aaron Rodgers' decision, he says. It's not just the playing, it's the guys you play with, the chemistry, love, love and friendship with each other. So the Packers are going to have to make some pretty big decisions in regards to if Aaron Rodgers won't come back, if some of these players aren't here. Randall Cobb's an impending free agent. Mercedes Lewis is an impending free agent. David Bakhtiari has a big contract issue. I don't think they're going to cut him. I think it's going to be a restructure there. And then I believe he also mentioned Mason Crosby, who, again, is an impending free agent. So 3 guys that he really likes, they're his friends, they're in the locker room, are impending free agents. So what the Packers decide to do with them could definitely affect Aaron Rodgers. As we saw 2 years ago, when the whole trade rumors were going around, I think the Packers went and traded for Randall Cobb for Aaron Rodgers. I don't think that was a GM move thinking, okay, we need this guy to better our team, better our wide receiver room. I don't necessarily think the Packers needed Randall Cobb in that scenario. He's done some good things in the 2 years he's been here since, but nothing like prime Randall Cobb, because it's not prime Randall Cobb. But nonetheless, it kept Aaron Rodgers here. It's one of his good friends. And if that's the case, I like Mercedes Lewis. I want him back regardless of Aaron Rodgers' decision. Randall Cobb, not so much. I think Randall Cobb might actually retire, and that's on him. That wouldn't be on the Packers not re-signing him and Aaron Rodgers getting mad at that. David Bakhtiari, like I said, I see a restructure. And Mason Crosby, I think he could also get brought back for at least one more year. He proved true at the end of the season, hitting most of his kicks. And in the cold weather, he's just a solid kicker in the cold weather. And I think Mason Crosby could definitely be brought back for one more year. And the final tweet, Aaron Rodgers said that the Packers are, quote, probably a couple players away from competing for a championship. So this is also a nice sign that Aaron Rodgers believes in this football team and that they can make another run at a potential playoff/Super Bowl run next year. He said time and time again he believes in these young wide receivers, especially as of late with Christian Watson, doing as much as he's done. Romeo Doubs returning from injury. They also drafted Samori Toure. The Packers have a lot of good talent on that offense, and I think they will add more to that in the draft as well. Maybe potential a free agent or a trade for a wide receiver. Allen Lazard is also an impending free agent, so we'll see exactly what they do there. But I think that can definitely play a part, Aaron Rodgers coming back. He knows that this team can make a run. Say they get a new defensive coordinator, the defense plays up to their level that we expect. Maybe they draft a wide receiver in the first round finally for Aaron Rodgers. Maybe, we never know. I think that's going to happen the moment Aaron Rodgers isn't on this team, just because it's just going to happen. But he knows that this team can definitely make another run. And this year was not a good representation of the talent on this football team. That's for damn sure. But the talent is still there, and they are just probably a couple players away from making a run. So Aaron Rodgers knows that. That's good to hear, at least, that the fact that he realizes that it's not just like a lost cause on this football team. Everything's going downhill. He believes in Matt LaFleur. He believes in Brian Gutekunst. He believes in this football team and the young talent that it has going forward. But yeah, that about does it for this one. Just wanted to quickly go over and give my reaction and thoughts to everything Aaron Rodgers said last night. I know there's a ton of talk going around right now, and pretty much everyone's saying, okay, Aaron Rodgers is definitely retiring. I didn't get that out of last night's press conference. He definitely said a couple things, but a lot of the quotes are taken out of context where he's saying, oh, I'll miss the fans, I'll miss the reporters. He was asked for that question if this is it, not that it is it. So in that regard, he would miss the fans. He would miss the reporters if this was it. But that was the question that was asked. It wasn't Aaron Rodgers saying that this is it. So I think a lot of that was taken out of context. And Aaron Rodgers, we probably won't know for a couple months. We most definitely won't know for a couple months. But I do think, in my opinion, that he will be back in 2023. But that about does it for this video. I appreciate everyone watching. If you are new here and want more Packers news analysis and updates all the way through the entire offseason, I do a bunch of draft coverage, free agency coverage, salary cap coverage. If you're new here, go down, click that subscribe button, leave a like on the video, support my channel, and turn on post notifications. But I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go.